Hi folks, Doc Jake from Sioux Nation Ag Center here. Now this is the third installment in a series that we've been doing on using Gallagher electric fencing to stretch your grass. Our first video talked about how Gallagher electric fencing is very beneficial to cross divide your pasture so that you get more grazing. Our second video talked about how easy it is to put up. Now in our third video, Generic Rancher Ron is going to go into details about how the fencing that he used this year on this pasture has saved a boatload of grass in a drought year.
So when we started this project, we had cows that have been on the place for 8 years and have never once seen an electric fence in their life. Remember the first couple days, we were putting a cow in a day, but after 2 days they figured out that they couldn't get through the fence. So now we've had this paddock under the rotational grazing for 40 days. A year ago, we had the entire 40-acre field that was grazed down, totally grazed down in that same 40 days. We have yet to quite graze down half of this pasture. The other thing is, we went back and looked at the weather records. A year ago, we had right at 30 inches of accumulated moisture between rain and snow over that 1 year period dated back to June 17th. This year, dated to June 17th, we've had 20 inches of moisture. So a third less moisture, and we've doubled the capacity or doubled the amount of grazing days, considering under the same days, we've used a little less than half of the pasture for grazing so far this year, under that same time period.
So a question that you might have is, okay, you were able to get more grazing days out of the same pasture, but did you take it off the cows? Well, here's the cows right here. As you can see, we're running about a 5 to a 6 body condition score, right where a person wants to be. Last year at this time, they were running an average of 5.5 body condition score, right where you expect them to be. So we did not make the cows any thinner by using this system than if we would have not used this system like we did in the past. So Generic Rancher Ron, do you think this was a success using this program this year with the Gallagher fencing?
Oh yeah, absolutely was. We were able to increase our stocking amount and stocking rates, so to speak. Minimal expense and minimal labor.
Good to know. And I guess if there was anything you would like to change for next year, what are some thoughts that come to mind?
Well, we've always done a little bit of rotational grazing. In other words, we give them this 40 and then that 40. But now seeing the benefits of giving them, 5 acres or so at a time, it makes me more interested to maybe go the next step and start working on the water resources. Right now, we're still stuck with the water resources that we have, where they're going through the ungrazed portion to get to the water. That's not ideal, but I still think we got 80% of the rotational grazing benefits with 10 or 20% of the effort. It makes me excited for the next step.
Absolutely. Basically, to take it to the next level and see the results would be really cool.
Yeah, the next level is going to be water. Where we're at, we've got basically one water source for several hundred acres.
Yeah, so something that we can be worked on, but this is a great way to start, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'm pleased enough with the results that I feel we might be able to justify that next expansion.
Cool enough. So folks, if you want to dip your toe in the water of rotational grazing, feel free to reach out to us at Sioux Nation Ag Center. We have the Gallagher fencing products that you need to be able to successfully accomplish rotational grazing. Because with more rotational grazing, you'll have more pasture available. With more pasture available, it'll be less expensive to feed these cows, which of course is absolutely critical to feeding that bottom line.
You did good, keeping a straight face.
I think I did too bad for the toad wrangler over here. See how it looks.
Gotta dip your toad in the water,
You gotta
like you said.
Dip your toad in the water.
Here.
Yeah. Just don't think too hard. That's usually the hard part, when you think. Just gotta let it go. You should know about letting it go. You're a grandfather.
Let it go.
Let it go. Don't hold it back anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that was the rest of the song.
I'll probably know the song really well in about 2 years.
I suppose.
All right, folks.
We're going to be both on camera.
Yeah, I figured this is okay.
Okay.
We can sit here and look like, you know, Waldorf and what's his face on the Muppets.
Oh, Stadler and Waldorf.
Stadler and Waldorf, exactly.
The old guys up in the balcony.
Is that a cow? No, that's your mother-in-law. Okay, there we are.